Hey, this is Shobit. Today we'll be talking about why you are burning out in your career and what do you do about it. Stay tuned for more. The number one reason why you're burning out is because you are unclear over what value you're adding in the first place. Now, imagine an organization where everyone knows exactly where they add value and where they don't. They focus extremely well exactly on the things that adds value and they ignore the rest. That's a dream come true. But the fact of the matter is that, especially when I work with product managers, they're not really clear on where they add maximum value. Because look, this is so much clearer as an engineer. You're writing code, you're producing something. As a designer, you built mocks, you got them validated by customers. What about product managers? How do you actually add value? You're not producing anything that ships directly to customers. Maybe help documents, maybe some marketing content, but not really anything that goes directly. So it's through the impact that you have on other people that you ultimately drive value. And where I see product managers burning out is a complete lack of clarity on what are the things that they have done that have moved the needle, and what are the things that they've done that really resulted in nothing at all. And the funny thing is that there is actually a lack of clarity. That's one point here, but there's a related point, which is very often many of the PMs that I work with, they know that they're adding value as what you call a distant truth. They sense it. It's there. But what they don't know or they haven't done yet is they haven't internalized that value. They don't allow themselves to feel it. The moment they get a victory, somebody tells them, "Hey, this is really valuable. I appreciate it." Their response, rather than internalizing and taking that in and noting it and making sure your brain understands it, is to brush it off. It's like, oh yeah, whatever, cool, let's move on to the next thing, and this next thing and next thing and the next thing that they're after, not allowing themselves to feel the fact that they added the value, is what's costing them in a big way, because now they don't know where they add value, and so they try to do a lot of stuff. They try to solve all sorts of things. Wherever there's an opportunity for something to be done, they take it over. And they also never say no, in the sense that if somebody asks them for help or assigns them something, they take it on. Because, hey, why would you let an opportunity to add some value go? So as a product manager, you need to be clear on what are the areas that you actually add value. And not just that, you need to internalize that. You need to make sure that your brain truly understands that and it doesn't fall into the trap of saying yes to everything because you were not clear and you haven't owned the value that you've already added. So step one, add value, be clear what adds value, and then own and internalize the fact that you are adding value. Reason number 3 why you are burning out in your career is you are addicted to it. So here's what happens. In life, we believe that our brain, it just acts in this super rational way where we direct it and we want certain things, and then the brain goes and executes it for us and the body follows. But what is proven true over and over again, that less than 5% of our actions are actually conscious. And so with that, What that means is that there is the metaphor of the elephant and the rider, where your conscious brain, what you're trying to do, is the rider, and it's riding an elephant. And a rider's much smaller than the elephant. And so the elephant, if it wants to go somewhere, it's gonna bloody well gonna go there, right? The rider's gonna be kind of powerless to direct it. And so what's happening is your brain, that elephant, the subconscious part of your brain, the one that's actually governing most of the actions, it's stuck in a habit addiction loop where you do certain things that gives you that dopamine hit. It gives you that sense of satisfaction. And it could be something as simple as checking email. Oh, new email came in, it was a variable reward, and now you want to check it over again because you're addicted to it. And so what's happening is you're repeating actions that gives you immediate hit. And because you also don't have that clear sense of value of what you're working towards in the long term and how do you add value to the organization, you are addicted to that short-term hit. And so this cycle starts to repeat itself, and before you know, you are stuck in this addiction loop. You're literally being addicted to doing these actions and doing it all over time, and you're just stuck there. And if you think of it, ask yourself some questions. So one great question to ask is, how many times do you check your work Slack messages and emails while you're not at work? This is crucial, because if you do, you're probably looking for some sort of a dopamine hit where you're going to look at some email. Maybe that's acknowledging some work you're doing. Maybe it's some reward that you're getting. Maybe it's just somebody needs you. And now you keep looking for that all over time. So this is one of the things that causes people to burn out, because when they de-stress, when they decompress, when they move away from work, they haven't yet moved away. And you have to do everything in your power to get rid of this addiction. I mean, I'll tell you some of the things just that I've done as an example. I'm not saying you need to do this, but there is no email on my phone anymore. Weird as it sounds, there is no form of email on my phone. I literally, when I need to, for example, I'll tell you, I sometimes have needed to go to Best Buy, and they send you a confirmation email that you need to show to pick up the order. I've needed to enable that, download the email app, configure my email account, get the email, and then go there. And that is by design. I don't want that easy hit of me being able to open email on my phone. That's happening all the freaking time, and now I'm just addicted to it and stuck in that loop. So your addiction to those intense dopamine hits that comes from the variable rewards that come with work are burning you out. So the next reason why you're burning out is imposter syndrome. Okay, why does imposter syndrome lead to burnout? The reason's simple. When you have imposter syndrome, you actually question yourself a lot more than other people. You don't consider yourself worthy of being there. And so, because that's happening, your subconscious mind is causing you to take on so many actions that are all there to just prove your worth, to prove to yourself that you should be there, that you should be given responsibility over the initiatives that you're taking on. Like all those things, you're just overdoing things. And it's funny, as I've shifted some of my clients over from imposter syndrome to truly owning their value, to knowing it, to actually recognizing their contributions, what's happened is that then they've been able to take this fresh look at their schedule, and I'm not kidding, cut out 2, 5, 10, even 20 hours weekly of stuff they were doing, and instead add in a much smaller number of hours that are spent adding real value at the level at which they are. So when you're in the imposter syndrome mode, what you're doing is you're doing stuff that's below your level, as in stuff that was good for you to do 3 years ago, 5 years ago, but now you've gone in the organization to the level where you need to delegate this or drop it all completely or automate it, but you're still doing it because you just don't believe in your worth. You just have that imposter syndrome, and that's causing you this activity, and it's causing you to burn out. Not to even mention just the stress that's going through your head. See, burnout is not just about that you're doing extra work. Burnout is about what's going through your brain, the repeated patterns that go through your brain. And the more you live into the future, the more you live into what could happen, possibilities, optimism, positivity, the less likely you're to burn out. And the more you live in past, where did things go wrong, repeating that loop over and over again, the quickly you'll burn out. I mean, it's just exhausting thinking of all the crap that went wrong. And so imposter syndrome is one of those things that's really leading you to burnout. The next thing that is leading you to burnout is your environment. It's because your coworkers might be modeling this behavior where they work 50, 60, 70 hours, where they boast about how much they work and how much work they're putting in and how exhausted they are. That's what they boast about. And so now you are taking them as role models. That's part of your environment, and then you're burning out because of that. Or even your physical environment. Physical, like what's on your computer, what's on your phone, what's around you. All those things might be causing you to burn out. I mean, tell me, when was the last time you took a conscious look at what's in your environment and how does it force you to act? It's these triggers that get you into the loop of doing work that does not make a huge difference, and also mentally it changes you. I mean, I've had to consistently design consciously what's going on. So I'll just give you some examples. Like if you look behind me, the mindset poster, the beach and poster, that's not just for YouTube, although some part of it is, but part of it is that's the kind of environment I want. A relaxed, peaceful. There's a beach poster there. There's candles that are right here on my desk, and I often light them to from environment, from how things smell. They tend to relax me, put me into calm working mode. My desk is set up, although it's a little untidy, to be honest, it could be tidier. It's set up such that I can put things around me. My phone goes on notifications off. Like all those things are set up so that I am a lot more productive and I'm feeling a lot more confidence. As a result, I'm preventing myself from the burnout, and I have energy. Even right now when I'm recording this video, when it's later in the evening, and often back in the day I would be just like, this is Netflix time and just turn me off and everything. I now have energy, and a big part of that is environment. So how are you using your environment? Is it actually causing you to burn out? The next item that's causing you to burn out is lack of ways of generating energy. So I gotta give credit here to Brendan Bouchard. He's brought up one of the metaphors that's so useful in my life, which is the power plant does not have energy, it generates energy. What does that mean? So there was an assumption, implicit assumption in my life, and I know it's true for like 90% of people, that their energy is what exists at any given point in time. So, if they're feeling lethargic, they're feeling lethargic. Their body language mirrors that. They sort of look back here, everything. Very few people realize that you can change your mental and physical state like this. Like, done. I am ready to go. And the real question is, what's your habitual state? And do you have ways of stepping from that into the empowered, engaged state that you need to be to truly do justice for the next meeting that's coming in, for the next whatever thing that's happening? Are you able to do that justice? because most people, they don't. They just like, okay, I'm feeling sleepy, let's go into the meeting, maybe have some coffee. Well, there's ways you can use your breath. You could eat stuff, you could stand, you could even move your body in certain ways, you could use music. There's a million different ways for you to change your mental state. And it is a power tool. Your mental state is 100% up to you, and it's a power tool you can use at any point. It can dramatically change your life. But because you're carrying around in the wrong mental state and you're just giving what's coming naturally by default as what it needs to be, you are burning out because you're forcing yourself rather than putting yourself in the right mental state and then acting into it. So what's causing you to burn out? Lack of ways of generating energy.
Okay, so those were the 4 things. But remember, they sound great in theory, but they're really hard to implement in practice. And what most people need is a proven mentor, proven guidance to put them into play so that your next product management role is your dream one. You do really well, you find a job that you love to work at, you make shit tons of money, all those things flow, and you have this satisfaction and this happiness. And I want to make sure you don't shortchange yourself, because if you do shortchange yourself, you're just talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, over the course of your career that you're leaving on the table. So, in order to get the help that you need and you deserve, intentionalproductmanager.com/apply. Apply to speak with us. Somebody from my team will have a chat with you, and everyone's qualified to help you really uncover and get clarity on what are the challenges in your career, what are your goals, and how do we get you from point A to point B. Build a step-by-step plan. And if we can help in that, we will certainly show you how. Even if not, this is something we just love to do, help people get that step-by-step plan so that they can succeed in their career. And a lot of people end up working with us anyway, but we just get satisfaction from doing that though. intentionalproductmanager.com/apply. We look forward to speaking with you very, very soon.